During his stay with Ivan, the nudist mage who shunned society and its ways, Georg not only learned some new spells, but also of a magic airship, where this land's magic users congregate. All was welcome if you can get on it by yourself, and find it, of course. Ivan does tell him where he may find some griffins, which may be useful to achieve that end. When the week ends, he says his goodbyes to Ivan and heads off following the river with his 2 remaining slaves. It is a dangerous journey, and during an encounter with more sturges, Orwell is seriously injured, but they manage to create a stretcher to carry him along. They encounter some lizard men not long after, and while they drive them off, decided to leave the wounded Orwell behind so they can move faster in case the lizard men come back. Eventually, wounded, tired and filthy, they reach the town of Shirebrook a few days later, where the townsfolk arrange for a doctor to see to their wounds and seem amazed at the tale of Georg's journey. Georg decides to stay in the town a while so he and Reptar can recover from their injuries. During his stay, he learns the town is home to 2 more wizards. Roanna, sickly but strong, who runs the regent's shop in town, and Aldrich, advisor to Baroness Valmont and fellow stargazer. He is also approached by the local sheriff and given a stern warning not to cause trouble for the town. He manages to get an audience with Aldrich and learns a little more about the airship. Later, while once more regaling the locals about the wondrous journey of Georg the Great, he is approached by some dwarves who ask him to deal with some bullywugs who have been harassing their mining operations. Georg agrees to take the task and heads out with Reptar, but not before removing his bronze collar. The pair manage to track down some frogmen, and with Georg's magic and Reptar's might, they make short work of all but one of the bullywugs. They start removing the legs off their fallen foes, and when the lone survivor awakes, Georg sends him off with a message that if the bullywugs do not leave, all will meet the same fate as its slaughtered companions. As Georg and Reptar return to the dwarves to feast on delicious frog's legs in a victory feast, he has a niggling thought that perhaps he had started a war between the town and the bullywugs. What consequences will Georg's actions have? Will he find the airship? How will he manage to get on it? Find out next time on Dicing with Death.
Why, hello there, everybody, and welcome to Dicing with Death. Long time no see. Ryan, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Good to be back at the tabletop.
Absolutely. It's been like almost a month now.
Yeah. And you've had a few sessions in between now and then, but this is the only... I haven't played D&D in like a month.
Yeah.
I'm jonesing for a fix.
Ooh. So how was your New Year's? How was your Christmas? How was your microscope education?
Good.
What type of microscope did you practice or train on?
Oh, a whole bunch. One of them was pretty impressive. It's called the Nion. You guys, Nion. Look it up. There's less of those in the world. There's 3 of those basically.
A Nion.
Yeah, I don't know that it would mean anything, but
not a Nikon, but a Nion.
No, Nion. It's like the Ferrari of electron microscopes. So that was pretty cool to see in action. And a whole week of like classes and labs. So that was fun. And before that, the holidays. I don't know, traveling so much I can't even keep track. How about you? Moving countries.
Moving countries,
Is this
battling internet issues. You might notice that today's stream is slightly lower resolution than normal, and that's because we are fighting the crappy internet in Chiang Mai, Thailand, where I live now. But don't worry, there are plans to fix it. There's different offices, and we're going to get all sorted out. But today we're going to stick out with, God, we've got some weird resolution we're broadcasting at today. I think we're broadcasting at 960 by 540 because I didn't want to go all the way down to 480. But this should be great, and everything else has been fantastic. Oh. So why don't we, without further ado, hop into the game because we're a little late and I need my Dicing with Death fix.
Yeah. So. You missed the recap, so you can bring us up to speed. It'll be your test. Me and the viewers know what's going on.
There's no need for a test. You guys just heard the wonderful recap. So Ryan, you're hanging out in Shirebrook, if I'm not mistaken.
Ish. I think I'm in the. So I think we faded to black last time in the Dwarven mining camp, like northwest of town.
Yeah. That's correct.
We were having a horrible feast on the legs of the fallen bullywugs.
Sure.
And
I don't think there's anything else that needs to be done there. I think we can just kind of move on to the next day. Do you need to rest for some days?
No, I'm at full. I did just level up. I don't think Reptar took damage either. We've been resting in town for a week. But now I do want to.
Do you have a task in mind?
Upgraded. So is this describe? I guess where we are, what's going on? Is the Dwarven camp permanent, or do they go back to town at night?
They live in town. They just have the mines fronts are there, and there's some small equipment shacks and some gear there. But they all head back to the town anyway.
All right. So then I guess we party and feast and then head back into town. Well, I guess we just feast. We just eat frog legs. But
Okay.
These dwarves are a lot less fun than I was hoping. Okay.
Is there anything in particular you would like to do with these dwarves?
Find an inn. I want to get armor resized. So for Reptar, we picked up some alligator hide armor, I think, from the bullywugs.
Sure. What time of day is it? It's like afternoon?
I think it's like night. No, I think we ended like at the end. We had been slaughtering bullywugs all day and went back and partied with the dwarves at night. Nice. I guess there was only one decisive ambush and massacre at the river.
Okay. So you have to head back and find an inn for the night. You think you've already been staying somewhere, right? You've been here for a few days.
I've been here for a week. I can't remember the name of the place.
You are probably staying at the Storybrook Inn.
That sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
So I mosey on back to the Storybrook and get a room. I might even have a room paid for.
I think you have a room. Yes.
We can make this my last night.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I guess I would. I blew my spells, blew my load, so I need to.
You rest up.
Sleep.
You get a decent night's sleep. Reptar gets some rest too. Are you sure you guys? Right, you guys didn't take any damage. It's not that you're both at 1 HP and about to die.
I didn't take any damage. That could have. Well, that's why we were waiting in town for so long.
Right, you had almost died.
Take hits in battle. Right. I don't keep track of Reptar's HP.
I have
his stats. He's not my property.
He is wounded, but not dead. He may soon become your property. After all, he is your slave.
Except I can't because he's a higher level than me.
Right.
So I'd need to go off on a solo adventure if I want him as a henchman.
Did we resolve whether or not you've removed his collar from around his neck?
Yeah, we did that last session, and that was cool. The recap.
Great. Well, then let's just go straight to the next day. Next day rolls
All right.
around, and you are in Shirebrook.
See, so I am level 2 now.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of going full on murder hobo, I'll go half murder hobo and only memorize one color spray and to comprehend languages. In addition to my enlarge that comes with being a dimensionalist. I really wish I had comprehend languages before the bullywug ambush of 2015, but
Well, it's a one-way thing. It doesn't allow you to speak their language, just understand it.
I guess that's true. What did you break? What did you do, Neil?
Things are fine. Everything's fine.
Did you throw another bike through a window?
No, what? Bike through a window? It was a window through a
Isn't
bike.
that how it was? The window through a bike.
Yeah. No, I just dropped a spoon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, breakfast time in the Storybrooke. Is it like a bed? Do they have food, or is it just rooms and then you mosey on down to the half pint?
There's rooms and there's food, but there's no drinks.
Okay.
And yeah. So you might want to eat at the half pint. You might want to eat here. This half pint has some really nice spiced potatoes. There's,
Okay. Do they have any meat pies?
Yes. Both places have meat pies.
Okay. I think Georg eats a mint pie and sips on his cappuccino while he studies his spell book.
Okay.
Do they have good cappuccino here in the Storybrooke?
Let's see.
They even know what that is?
It's pretty average. It's, the beans are what you'd expect from most places. It's, it's the equivalent of pre-ground coffee beans. Like old school, like the giant cans of Folgers you used to get in the 90s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, instant coffee, you mean?
Maybe.
That's even more of a miracle. Did some wizard invent instant coffee that I'm...
No, you still have to... What? I don't drink coffee, so what's instant coffee? Really? Is it just like...
I don't know, never mind.
Powder in water and then you drink it without straining the stuff? Because this stuff gets strained, but it's like
all the time. It's like little. Usually, it's like little packets of like just add water.
No.
Instant caffeine fix.
This is like someone ground all the beans that they had like 3 months ago, and they're just been like doling out.
They bought a barrel of ground beans, so it's not a cappuccino. They're not like making espresso and steaming the milk.
I don't know. I don't actually. Cappuccino's not a synonym for coffee.
No.
Okay. You're just getting a cup of coffee.
I'll stop being such a Northwest hipster and sip on my coffee and memorize my spells. Does Reptar come down in the morning?
Reptar does. You notice he doesn't. It's not like a limp,
an early
but he's
riser
rubbing
than me.
his side where he got shanked. And he sits down and says, Master Georg, what is our plan?
I whip out the the alligator like breastplate or whatever, and slap it on him. Say, stitching you up so you don't get stabbed again. For one, maybe he was already carrying that shit. I probably would have been encumbered lugging that away, but I guess the battle ended. So
Right, doesn't matter.
So you said you had alluded to planning, so I was expecting to get ambushed in the night or
No, it's all good.
arrested over breakfast. But I guess we'll head into town and see about that armor. I'm sort of scratching my chin as we stroll through town to look for armor. I'm contemplating just skipping town.
The town is missing a full-fledged armorer, but there is a leather worker in town who, after talking
this
around...
is probably more appropriate a leather worker, right?
Mm-hmm. After talking around, he sounds like this guy might be able to help you with your stuff.
Yeah, well, I think it's hide armor. I mean, it was whatever the bullywugs were wearing. I think you described it as being made from alligator. Mm-hmm. So probably more appropriate for a leather worker.
Yeah. So he takes a look at the armor, at the skins that you have brought and starts making some
So
measurements.
I think it's a full-on suit of armor sized for a giant frogman.
Okay, so this is he takes a look at it,
On Reptar.
makes some measurements on Reptar. What's the Bullywug AC?
Does he ask any questions like, why does this smell like swamp, and how come whatever wore this had such a gigantic belly?
He doesn't actually. He pretty much just goes with it. You can ask him questions about his complete apathy of this armor if you'd like.
No. I think Georg's maybe just a little paranoid.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not mentioning anything specifically about the bullywugs. The sheriff of this town had instructed me not to. I can't quite remember the instructions, but
Don't cause any trouble.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So he says that he can get this refitted and resized for Reptar, but it'll take a couple days. It'll probably be done because he's got some other work on the side. So he's got to finish that stuff, and then he'll get to this. It'll be done 2 days from today. But if you need a little bit quicker and you're willing to pay a little bit more, he can get it done tomorrow.
How much does it cost?
10 gold. I'm
And
sorry,
for
no.
the rush?
It's gonna be 2 gold. If you want it rushed, he will charge you 3 gold for it.
I slap 3 shiny gold coins on the table and say, I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
I think these are, I stopped keeping track, but I think these are now dwarven gold, not my foreign gold.
Okay.
Not that it actually mattered.
This will give Reptar.
Hide armor and a shield.
This will
He's
give
got
him
like a
leather
wicker
armor.
shield.
It's not actually hide.
What's that? I call shenanigans. You
Really?
described it as hide, I
I
think.
mean,
maybe. I don't-
leather is hide. What's the difference between leather armor and hide armor? They're both
An
the
AC
hides of
1.
animal.
Or maybe,
Yeah, but what is the
Yeah.
technical difference between them?
it's gonna
You
go
know,
get my books.
what does it really mean to have hide armor or leather armor? Either way, it is just the hide of a beast.
Yeah, I'd call an alligator a beast. Did you?
Hide armor is prepared from extremely thick hide of a creature, such as an elephant, or from multiple layers of the regular leather. It's stiff and hard to move in. Leather armor is made by lathering on hardened or boiled oil and shaping into a breastplate and shoulder, blah, 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 blah. So if you have lots and lots of leather armor, you can make hide armor from it, or you just need like thick hide. And this is like alligator hide.
like from
Is alligator hide
sounds
thicker
freaking
than leather
badass.
hide?
no, but maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so.
You described it as hide. I think was the impression I got, but
Well, Georg is
Weapon
not
is an
a
upgrade.
martial specialist, so he's a little disappointed when he comes to the armor and finds out what it truly is.
I don't think that I'll actually. I don't think it would even register with the AC bonuses.
Yeah.
Like in character, I don't think that's a thing. All right,
Okay.
we're at least let it be known from a lore perspective that it is alligator leather armor.
Nice shiny green alligator armor. Yeah.
Um,
Is there anything else you'd like to accomplish this day?
Howard, do you prefer to fight with a sword or shield or spear? He has a spear now, right?
Yes, he wants his spear. That
Okay.
is the weapon he's been trained in.
Okay. He's also will now have. He's got a short sword and a shield. Does he want the shield? Did he?
Oh,
fight
hell
with
yeah.
that? Okay.
That's why he had the AC of 11. Is because he's
Yeah,
got his
okay.
shield.
Okay, yeah, I thought he had picked up. We picked up the shield immediately from
Mm-hmm.
the dead bullywugs,
Yeah.
and the armor later. Okay, so we should have AC 13 and a spear.
He will tomorrow. Is there
and
anything
a-
else you want to do today?
Yeah, hide so that I don't get into a fight before Reptar's armored.
Sure. You go back
I
to the
guess I'll-
half pint to hide there for the rest of the day.
Yeah, while away
and-
the afternoon,
Like
drinking elven wine and picking up my heels.
5 hours later, coming around the middle of the day, a pack of dwarves comes into the bar. It's about 4 of them. And they take a look about, spot you, and immediately tromp over in a large group.
Shit. Do they look angry?
No, they look. Well, I guess yes. They always look angry though. They're dwarves.
Yeah, fair enough.
One of them comes up to you and says, "Mr. Georg,
Is he speaking dwarven or common?
Dwarven,
Okay.
Mr. Georg, we'd like to thank you for what you've done for us, but there's we have somewhat of a mystery we were hoping you could enlighten us on. Would you accompany us down to the
A
mines?"
mystery.
Yes.
I love a good riddle, don't you? I guess I stand up.
No, I like
coughing
my
drink.
things straightforward. Riddles are for time wasters.
Straight as a stone until it cracks. Either that was some old dwarven saying I once heard, or I made it up on the spot and play it off like it is, and just walk
Okay.
through the town. Is Reptar in the half pint with me, or is he?
Yes. And he
Okay.
gets up and strolls along with you. The dwarves take you to the mines and start to lead you down. They don't carry any light. No, they do carry a light with them, but it's not very
Right.
good light.
Yes, Georg is a trained engineer, so he's probably somewhat familiar in the construction of things in general.
The walls look nice and shored up.
I don't know if I want to roll a check to eye it, or if you can just. Does it look like? I guess these are specific racial skills, huh? To detect new construction, and sloping passages.
But giving the mine a once-over,
It appears to be engineered.
it looks to be engineered well. There's big, thick timbers holding up the sides, nice big beams across the top. You're no expert in mining, but you figure that this is a stably built mine that won't be collapsing anytime soon.
Right. Is there any light down here, or do the dwarves rely on their?
So in this
Provision.
world, for those of you that are watching this or new to this, I am ruling infravision, kind of like low light vision, like night vision, not like infrared, but like a cat's eyes. If it's pitch black, a cat still can't see anything. You need some semblance of light in order to see. So if the dwarves bring a torch down, they'll be able to see as far as they'll be able to see really far in the dark with the torch. Whereas a human will only be able to see like 10 or 20 feet.
I guess it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The dwarves will be able to see like 90 feet with just torchlight. So they take you down kind of a craggly, scraggly, winding
They do light a
passageway.
torch.
They do light
Or
a
are
torch.
there sconces in the walls or something?
No, they carry a single torch with them.
Candelabras. Cool.
And they lead you down this kind of twisting passageway. There's tracks built into it so that they can push these carts up and down. And you notice that on the top of the mines, there were a couple of carts that were tipped over that looked maybe damaged, and someone was working on them.
I'm probably more interested in that actually than the mines. They have little wheeled carts, bronze or brass or something. Is there room for more than the cart to go down, or does it seem like the passage was carved for a cart?
There's
like a
room for a cart and then like one person on either side. There's actually fairly broad tunnels.
Okay. And you say tunnels, they're weaving to and fro. Am I getting lost at all? Well, I've got 18 int, I don't get lost. But
You don't get lost, and they don't branch that often. It looks like it's pretty much following like a vein of ore, and then here's a branch, but it doesn't look like the tracks don't go down that direction. The tracks just follow
So
a
there's
single
one-
path, so it'd be very easy to get your way out if you got stuck down here. Just follow the tracks and you can get out.
cool.
But after a little while, the tracks cross another passageway that is very straight and very smooth. Almost, it's an not I wouldn't call it smooth, but where the rocks are very rough hewn on the sides, and this is a lot smoother. It's not smooth, but it's smoother than the other area, and it is quite straight and quite tall, more narrow than the other sections of the mine. Instead of being, oh, crap, hold on, wait 1 sec. The stream is bugging super hard. Okay, stream was bugging. We didn't say anything. We waited. Instead of being like 10 feet wide, it's only 5 feet wide. But instead of being 6 feet tall, it's now 8 feet tall. So the structure and the shape of it changes, and the sides change, and the bottom floor changes, and the top changes.
Is it made of rock? Is it made?
It is still made of rock. And the tunnel
is it smoothly cuts, or does it look like it was blasted, or
it looks like
broken?
It's been chipped out, but instead of being like large chunks of rock coming out, it looks like smaller bits have come out, so the wall has less variation in scraggliness.
So am I in a different part of the mountain, or have they changed their tunneling technique?
Give me a engineering check.
25.
It looks like the technique has changed dramatically. From simple mining to something else. They stop here. The tracks continue on and the mine continues on. But they stop and point down this longish tunnel. You can't even see the end of it. But, you can only see 10 feet, so that's not saying much.
So the tracks stop?
No, the tracks continue down another shaft. Like the
Okay.
mine's
So
going
like
down this way, and this is, T intersection.
Okay. And they point this out to me.
They pointed out to you and said, we came across this
Yeah.
weird section here.
Apparently I'm already inspecting. I say, you mean you didn't do this?
No, we
This
dug
isn't
it.
your tunnel.
We certainly dug it, but the rock just melted away before us. I mean, still had to chip it out, but it's a different sort of rock. Came out a lot easier.
I am inspecting the rock more, I guess. I thought it was the same, or I was led to believe it was the same.
It's,
Like
it is the same
visual
rock.
inspection.
Yeah. You go down, you compare one side to the other, and same sort of rock.
So this is like, but they've like dug in where it was soft. Is that what they're saying? Is that what it's looking like? So they were just as curious as I am, and they started. Is there a pick somewhere nearby?
There is.
So I guess I'd pick it up and have a play myself. Pound on the one side, pound on the other side.
It seems pretty hard. Both sides seem pretty solid. You can't.
You
Really
said it's like
discern
5
a
feet
difference.
wide, so I've got room in between to.
Yeah. Now this bit here is a mystery. It's somewhat confusing, but he hands you the torch. It's what's at the end of the tunnel where we come to ask you about.
I guess I set the pick down, picking up my staff that's leaning against the wall, torch in the other hand, and I guess I lead the way. It's pretty much one person wide, isn't it? It's at 5 feet, so unless you cram. All right, so torch ahead. I begin sliding down this narrow hallway.
As you walk down, the dwarf behind you says, "Now, this tunnel came to a naturally occurring sort of cavern, hemisphere sorts. When we broke in, it was empty. Well, not empty, but we didn't have to carve nothing out. Just kind of came to this thing." And as he finishes up his sentence, you make it the 40 or 50 feet down this tunnel to a hemispherical open chamber. It's about 15 feet across and maybe 20 feet tall. And standing in the middle of it is a doorway-shaped stone archway.
In the dead center of the room.
Yes.
I think my first reaction was just sort of lurch back at sighting this obviously man-made artifact. And then I'd take a step into the room. And Neil freezes.
Sorry, I'm here. Just sometimes, internet.
Yeah, I take a step into the room and hoist the torch overhead. What's the diameter of the chamber?
15 feet.
Oh, so it's small.
Mm-hmm.
And the ceiling is about the same?
20 feet. Ceiling's a little higher.
It's more like a egg-shaped chamber, or not quite a hemisphere?
Yeah.
And is the ground flat and level? Is there a staircase leading down or a slope leading down to the door?
No slopes, no staircases. It's more or less level. It's a little bit on the rocky side. It's got like the rockiness of gravel.
All right. I take a step in, holding my staff out as if for someone to take, and then letting it go. Yeah. And apparently someone catches it before it clatters to the ground as I approach this doorway to investigate. You said it's a stone arch?
Stone arch. There's no door in it. It's just like a door.
I approach
arch.
From the side, as if to not totally face the opening in case something were to burst forth from it or get sucked into it.
Yeah.
Are the walls and floor naturally carved?
Mm-hmm. But again, they're...
so it's rough, or does it seem...
It's rough,
smooth?
like a gravel type rough, not like the big chunks of rock coming out of the wall, but smaller chunks of rock coming out of the wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I resist temptation and do a circle of the room before immediately diving for the door to see if there was any way in or out before the dwarves burst through the walls of this cavern.
Doesn't seem to be any way in or out.
I can think of a few. I probably say out loud to myself, even though there's been silence.
A few what? Says one of the dwarves.
Ignoring him, I approach the doorway, again obliquely. And I think I'm going to go to place my hand on the side of the stone from the side.
Mm-hmm.
And roll a save versus death or die.
Nope. Put your hand on it. It feels cool to the touch.
Is it made from the same stone or brought from somewhere else?
It is made.
Am I qualified to make that?
Yes, it is quite clearly made from different stone. It is made from some sort of white stone. You don't have any stone-related proficiencies, do you?
I don't know that any exist. If there were a geology proficiency, I may have considered it, but...
There's like a stoneworking proficiency.
Oh, you're right. There's masonry, stone masonry.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I'm not a stonemason. So, okay. The whole arch is made from the same stone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I do have a spellcraft proficiency. Can I roll to identify this as an arcane, I guess looking for runes or feeling magical auras? Do I feel a magical aura?
You have spells that will detect magic auras for you.
Grumble, not memorized. But there's no obvious signs that this might be...
There's no engravings anywhere. There's no words carved. There's nothing mystical about it other than the obvious.
Then I circle around to face the front of the doorway.
Which way is the front?
I'm now on the side. So did I come in facing an open door?
Yes.
Or okay, so I did a full circle of the room, and now I'm facing the original way that I had faced. I kneel down right in front of it, pick up a stone. How far behind me are the dwarves? Have they crowded into the room, or are they waiting in the hall?
They're all crowded into the room. Reptar's standing behind them, looming over them, looking in interestedly.
I pick up can I find like a pebble on the ground or a shard of stone, and I huck it through the open door.
It tumbles through and clatters on the other side.
Okay. I then approach it myself and stick my torch through.
No, nothing unusual happens.
All right. And then I let my hand go in, following the torch.
Totally fine.
And arm, and then my whole body, and I just step through the archway.
You step through with no complications.
And I look at the archway from the other side.
Everything appears to be normal.
Probably repeat the step again.
Yeah. Everything proceeds as if it's just a normal stone archway.
How peculiar.
So,
and I suppose
what is it? Says one of the dwarves.
Well, clearly someone put it here.
Well, I could have told you that.
Or. And you also could have told me that these stones are from elsewhere. Do you know what they are? Do they have value?
White soapstone.
That doesn't sound valuable.
Not very good crafting materials either. Soapstone crumbles real easy. You'd be a fool to make anything out of it, other than maybe a little doll or a little figurine. Just little knickknacks, really.
Then perhaps we're looking at a knickknack. But some knickknacks can be immensely valuable. Think the priest's holy symbol. Or this, and I reach into my pocket and hold up a prism. I don't know what it's for, but I have a prism in my pocket.
For read magic.
Yeah. So, knickknacks, much as this interact with the magical fields all around us, can be used to channel its power.
You saying it's a magical thing?
I look at him meaningfully. It requires further study. I think at this point I've sat down in the room, and I'm probably taking my lunch.
All right. They stand around for a few minutes, and then one of them says, well, you know the way out, right? We're gonna go back to work. But if you find out anything about it, let us know. And
yeah, well, I shoo them off. I probably
we came to you instead of the sheriff or that other woman for a reason. So, it's none of their business what happens down here.
I reply in Dwarven, only the stones shall hear me speak.
They give you a grunt of approval and retreat down the passageway. Reptar takes a turn around the room and pokes his head through the door. Does pretty much all the same things you were doing, including licking the stones and just jabbing at it. And pretty quickly he shrugs and says, "It's rock."
How insightful of you, Reptar.
It's just rock. No big deal. Someone leave door down here. Dwarves find it. Who cares?
Yeah, so I think I spend some time in the room getting a feel for it, but I'll probably pay attention to the measurements. And does it seem perfectly? Is it like a perfect egg shape, or is it froze?
Or
or does it look like it was carved by tools.
Looks like it was carved by tools.
The
The
artisanship does not.
the stone archway itself also looks like it was crafted by men or dwarves or something. It's very well made, but it doesn't have that, machined perfect flow to it that you would get with magic.
Well, dwarves live a great many years. I presume they can wait one day. So I will leave the mine after taking my time there,
Okay.
in search of a second lunch, probably.
You go get second lunch back
These rations just won't quite cut it.
So you head back to the Half Pint to get second lunch.
Yeah, I think so. Moseying on back. Because we're basically crossing town. How big is this town?
Town's a quarter mile by a quarter mile, and the mines are like 2 miles out from there. No, it's like a mile and a half out from there. Hold on,
Oh,
the
so
stream's falling down a little bit.
But it is a bit of a walkout.
Oh, God, come on, stream. Oh, God. Oh, it's crashing so hard. Oh, it is.
You still there?
I'm here.
I mean, you're kind of stuttering a little bit
Yeah,
from my standpoint. So it's not just the stream. Did the stream crash or is it just dropping frames?
it's like 0 kilobits per second. Okay, we have recovered. Again, sorry about that. We are battling internet issues here. Technology is the vehicle of esports and all that jazz.
And
Sometimes
Thailand, pretty much all you can get is a rickshaw.
Yeah. Basically, we're importing kangaroos from Australia to send packets to Hong Kong, where the Twitch servers are. So it's a slow process, and the kangaroos do not fare well in the jungle heat of Vietnam. So here we are.
Indeed. Here we are back at the Half Pint.
Here we are back at the Half Pint. You and Reptar make
Okay.
it back. He quickly goes off to find some young ladies to talk to and try and fraternize.
Reptar hitting up the ladies.
He's a free man. He's not a slave anymore.
I suppose I'm a little surprised.
Oh.
Okay. I think I might just kill time until I can memorize and detect magic.
Sure.
I'll hang around the Half Pint. I'll burn a comprehend languages if I see anyone foreign looking.
There's some gnomes that live here.
I already speak Common, Elven, Dwarven, Gnomish, Halfling, Orc, Ogre, and Hobgoblin.
No, there's no one here
languages.
whose language you can't speak.
I kind of forget filling those because maybe I should have saved a couple slots, but I pretty much cover all the humanoid bases.
Yeah.
Although apparently, Reptar was a Kuban, right?
A Kubitan.
So he speaks one language that I may have accidentally stumbled upon your DM notes and saw that. I tried to avoid digging too deep for spoilers, but I clicked on the.
No, all that information is available to the public. You may read
I
that.
know, but so I was kind of curious, but then I was like, don't want to accidentally spoiler myself, so I didn't dig too deep. But I did notice that a Kuban is a language that I can't learn now.
Okay.
So there's no one to comprehend. I already understand everything.
For the time being. You could comprehend Bullywug, you could comprehend a Kuban.
All right, so I'll hang out there for the afternoon and probably into the evening.
You needlessly burn a spell, and I think you memorize something the next day. What are your new spells?
Are we fast forwarding the next day? I was just going to swap out comprehend languages for read magic, or sorry, for detect magic, and then
Yep, that's it.
go on back at mine.
That's all. But if we're gonna go to the next day, why don't we take our break right here, and we will come in at the next day on the other side of our break. So stick around, and we'll have some more Dicing with Death shortly. Bye bye.